It might come as a surprise to you, ladies and gentlemen, but my favourite game mode in this game is GAC. There's only one small problem that the community at large is often having with this game mode, is that it sometimes results in rather unfavourable matchups. You know exactly the type of matchups I'm meaning, the type where the opponent has got 3 to 4 to 6 to 7 to 8 more million GP than you and has double your GLs, or perhaps you have none and they have 3 or something like that. Well, it gave me a little bit of an idea, a spark, a hint of a video series that we're going to call Never Tell Me the Odds. Essentially, what this video series aims to do is take examples of the mini taking on the mighty, the Davids versus the Goliaths. That's right, we're going to see if we can steal victory from the clutches of defeat and coach these younger, smaller GP accounts to glorious and magnanimous victories against the giants that they face. In today's episode, we are looking at Unstoppable, a 4 million GP player facing up against an 8 million GP behemoth. Having a quick gander at the hot utils comparison between Unstoppable and CDH, we can see there is a slight discrepancy. As we said, there is about a 4 million GP gap, which is no small amount. Our opponent CDH has also got a boatload more Zetas, a couple more Omicrons, although they have the same number of GAC Omis, so that's not so much of a big deal, and their modding game is a little bit stronger. I don't want to say massively so, because overall the mod game is not massively strong here with CDH. The relic levels is where it really comes into play, with CDH having nearly 2 times as many relic levels, and a bunch of those being relic 9 characters, which Unstoppable has 0 of. Not particularly favourable. However, CDH doesn't seem to actually apply any datacrons. Now bear in mind, this is Bronzium League right now, so you will be asking yourself the question, what is an 8 million GP account doing in Bronzium? The benefit that Unstoppable does have here is he does have a GL Ray at Relic 6, missing a couple of Zetas and no ultimate, but it could well be the swaying point that we need. Your boy Scribble is a decent GAC player, if I do say so myself, but I am nothing special, so I decided to bring out the big guns. We invited an individual who is a former top 10 GAC player who's managed to squish down such giants of the game such as Arnold, T101 and Skelterix. Let's see if our GAC Whisperer can turn the tide of this particular battle and prove once for all, does skill even matter in GAC? The defensive overview then. Teams in the North Wall include a Darth Vader leadership of Nihilus and Emperor Palpatine. It's an interesting choice, but we'll roll with it. And we've got a Relic 9 Jango Fett leading Bosk and a Relic 9 Boba Fett. Zetas out the wazoo, no Datacrons there. Some interesting choices, to be fair. The South Wall then holds for us some Galactic Republic teams. We've got a 5s-led Rex team with Cody. More interesting choices once again, Relic 5s, Relic 7s, Relic 5s, and then we've got a Grandmaster Yoda team with Padme and Jedi Knight Anakin. Padme and Jedi Knight Anakin are both Relic 9. Again, I want to point out that the teams placed on defense here are not exactly highly synergistic, ideal setups here. This is what happens when you go into GAC and you don't study what are optimal team synergies. Let's start taking apart this defense. We are kicking off this particular version of Don't Tell Me the Odds by bringing in our own Vader with Thrawn and Savage against what is probably the toughest defensive team. He's got Grandmaster Yoda with Padme and Jedi Knight Anakin. We've thrown in a low level 3 Datacron here just to help support us in this battle. So the idea behind this was using Vader's unique synergies against Jedi in order to keep them ability blocked so that they can't do much, and to stack them up with a bunch of dots. Now the basic on Vader does apply an irresistible ability block against Jedi in particular. You see Savage completely yeets out Jedi Knight Anakin there, him being the most deadly person on this field. Without any additional Jedi support for Grandmaster Yoda, his use becomes rather limited because he can't gain any of that bonus turn when he uses his AoE hop. Now there is Padme and there is Grandmaster Yoda, and there's plenty of relic levels left on this team, so they do have a lot of viability still, so we can't just rest on our laurels. This is why we took in Savage to act as a taunting tank. Now this Savage does have the Omicron, so he is going to be better than your average picnic basket, but this particular son of Dathomir isn't really going to have much trouble when Grandmaster Yoda is fractured. Just Padme left. Even though she's Relic 9 and we don't have comparable relic levels, it's really no match for us. We have got the numbers in our favour and the odds as well. First team down, pretty successful, 66. The next battle, which will help us reveal the South Sector, which is actually worth more in Bronzium than going up north and going through Fleet, is against the 5's lead, Rex and Cody. We're taking in CLS here, CLS with Han and Chewie. We've gone for a lot of damage output, even though they have significant more amounts of total relic levels compared to us. I'm not too concerned about this battle. In 3's, we're actually going to choose to trigger the sacrifice on 5's, so we're going all in on Rex out of the gate. We want to get rid of him. Next up, we're looking to remove the taunt from 5's, but he full odds dodges it. Little bit annoying, but not the end of the world. We do still have Chewbacca available, and Chewie will be able to do an AoE dispel, giving us access to that Rex again. We're not currently concerned at all about Cody, because Cody is not a 501st ally, so even if we defeat Rex and trigger the sacrifice from 5's, Cody's not going to gain any of those beneficial stacks of, extra offense, extra speed, extra protection. None of that is getting given to him. We're just going to focus on Rex, make sure he does not get to that Rexolate, that aerial advantage, get him out of there, and then finish off Cody for a tasty 55. The back wall then is revealed. We have got a Geonosian team led by GBA, we also have a 5th Brother Inquisitors team, and we have a Tebow lead Ewok team. Interesting choices as always, but nothing too concerning. We at first decide to take in JTR with BB-8 and R2-D2. The idea behind this team against the 5th Brother Inquisitorius team is that we do have a lot of control, a lot of turn meter generation, and a decent amount of damage output when it comes to those additional exposes. Unfortunately, we don't have the roll with the punches Zeta on BB-8, so we're not calling those extra assists, and this team doesn't work quite as effectively without that. We are running out of steam here, and the enemy has us pretty much locked down with debuffs. So unfortunately, it looks like this first battle is going to be the first one that we drop. 3 battles in, and we do unfortunately run with our tail between our legs, but live to fight another day. We don't do preloading around here. We lose BB-8, and we decide now is the time for us to back out. We'll fight this one again. We decide to take in EP and Mara Jade with OG Kylo against the Geos. We throw out the bomb to put all the stagger out, and then we stun and remove the taunt from the Brute. After this, it's a game of control. EP and Mara Jade are a fantastic team. Lots of AoE damage, lots of turn meter generation, and so much in the form of stagger and stuns and shocks and dazes that it really controls Geo teams. They don't really stand a chance. We're only really using that OG Kylo for just a little more AoE damage and control. The idea behind this team is, of course, to make sure that the Geos don't get to have a turn, because if they take turns, they start dispelling and calling to assist and stripping your turn meter, and if Spy gets loose, he's able to just simply one-shot, yeet, skate, delete one of your units if you are not careful about it. The main target is, of course, Geo Brood Alpha. If you can get rid of him, this entire team just crumbles. They've got a lot of health equalization out of the team, so they are surprisingly chunky. It's not going to matter though, because turns are rather important if you want to actually win a battle, and they're not getting any. Isn't TM training and stuns a wonderful combination of moves? Yes it is. 56 banners. It's time for a second bite of the apple against the 5th Brother team. We're taking in a Hux lead Sith Trooper, First Order TIE Fighter pilot with the Omicron against this particular team. We feel like the additional foresight, the additional TM gains, the additional damage will be really useful against this Inquisitorius team. The other benefit is that Hux's dominance, that little blue buff that he's got there, is actually stopping the enemy from gaining turn meter. So 7th Sister has a chance to gain turn meter when we attack her allies. That dominance is stopping that, which is absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, we weren't quite able to kill that 7th Sister right out the gate, but she's looking just a little bit peaky, a little bit unwell. Overall though, it's not too bad of a battle. We've got quite a lot of cleansing and a decent amount of DPS, which we really need if we want to chew through this relic 9th Sister. We get a lot of foresight as well, so we are able to dodge a lot of the attacks. Pair that with the cleansing from both Hux and from Sith Trooper, we just about have the survivability that we need. There is, of course, the additional mass assist that comes out of Hux on his first special, and we use that to great effect to knock down 9th Sister without too many issues. When it's one man down and you're just against 7th Sister and 5th Brother, it really isn't so difficult of a battle anymore. We focus her down as she's got all of the nasty healing and the foresight and the dazing and the ability blocks and all that nonsense, so we want to get rid of her lickety-split. Just 5th brother now, and there's really nothing that he can do. We're going to chalk this one up as another victory for the underdogs. A rather juicy victory in the end. Of course, we lost some banners, but 34 will do. We take in our bounty hunters against the furriest of murder bears, but unfortunately it doesn't quite work in our favour. We get dazed, we cleanse it, and we're just immediately dazed again. We lose our ability to actually kill because we're not taunting with Bosk, and we've lost our OG Mando. We're going to have to chalk this up as another rather crushing defeat here, not an ideal scenario to find ourselves in. Not all hope is lost though. We take in our First Order friends now. We've got Crew leading a couple of leftover First Order allies. They've got Fox on the team and Fu, so we're able to pass around a lot of turn meter, but we also have 2-turn irresistible stuns coming out of Crew and some decent damage coming out of First Order Executioner, who's able to ramp his max health as the battle progresses. So every time he uses that second special, he's ramping his max health, which is what drives the damage for that ability. It'll reset when he kills a unit, so provided he doesn't actually land the killing blow, he can actually ramp his health infinitely, which is quite nice. There used to be a very interesting strat in the first phase of the Heroic Sith Raid that utilised First Order Executioner to do boatloads of damage to Nihilus. These were the Supreme Leader Kylo Ren soloing the Heroic Sith Raid days that we all remember so fondly. Anyway, there's a lot of stealth on the enemy team, but we're still trying to control quite a bit. That Log Ray is proving to be a real nuisance, constantly placing out those debuffs, getting those dazes on there, and cleansing off the buffs that we have. However, Wicket is the real damage dealer, so we're trying to focus all we can in on him. He's nearly dead now, and he does have a 2-turn stun. We look to strip back the turn meter, but instead we strip back his very soul and existence from the battlefield. Next up, Logray, who has proven to be the bane of our existence in this particular team, gets to bite the dust from Fox, and it's just T-Bow left, and what is one small lonely murder bear going to do against the might of the First Order? And the answer is not a whole lot. 35 banners, and that clears the south wall. We make our way up north now to face off against Vader, Palpatine and Nihilus. It's a really good way to break up 3 teams and make one team with very little synergy. We take in our own Jedi using Jedi Knight Revan, Grandmaster Yoda and Old Ben Kenobi, and it doesn't turn out to be too big of an issue. The main focus here is get rid of Darth Vader. We don't want him using Merciless Massacre and destroying our entire team, so focusing down on him, getting him stunned, increasing his cooldowns, and then swapping turns back and forth with Grandmaster Yoda, using every advantage that we can. Unfortunately, strategic advantage is on Old Ben rather than one of our better characters, and that makes for a little bit of difficulty when it comes to passing turns back and forth. Eventually we do manage to get there and we take out Vader without too many issues. Next up, we're going to take out Palpatine we're going to take out Nihilus, because we don't want him getting to that Annihilate or using any of those Drain abilities, Drain Essence I think it's called, and increasing our cooldowns. Get rid of him, and Lonely Palpatine is just a geriatric that isn't going to do much damage to us at this point. An easy win for 53. Just one team stands before us and the Fleet section and a potential full clear, and it is a Django-led Bosk bounty hunter team. We take in Fin Poe, and unfortunately we get the entire team ability blocked thanks to Django Fett passing the whole team additional 30 speed, and we just melt. Absolutely melted, and it looks like that is the end of our journey when it comes to clearing teams. However, things aren't so bad. It looks like our opponent has cleared north, and our Ray in the south is holding the wall of victory. We actually managed to hold this completely and lock in the win with no real issues. Now I know what a lot of people are going to say. They're going to say, well done Scribble, but you did have a GL and they didn't have a GL, so that's an easy victory. And I'd say for the most part, yes, you are probably right. However, had we placed that Ray in the north wall, we would have lost this battle completely. Had it not been for a couple of mischoiced teams that we did in this battle, we probably would have also gotten a full clear through the north as well. You live and learn, and the best thing about this is, once again, we are punching up 4 million GP here. It is no small feat, and I want to say congratulations to Unstoppable for this lovely, lovely victory, and I hope he learned a lot from it. Let me know if this video series is something that you guys would be interested in seeing going forward, and if you are interested in featuring one of these videos, please do get in touch. Our GAC Whisperer has a plan to take this wider to see if he can actually start helping more and more people. Let me know. Slide into my Discords, slide into my DMs, and message me directly there with some of your matchups and how you could be helped. Until the very next video though, peace out, and may the Force be with you.